I'm tired of the lies they spin. They're feeding us poison, where do I begin? Every headline feels like a sin. Oh, it's a game we're stuck in, can't win. Barack signed the papers, gave them the key. NDAA took our truth, can't you see? Smithman's shadow, it's haunting me. Propaganda flows like a dark raging sea. They twist the words, make us blind. Realities are lost in their cruel grind. Who's telling the truth? Man, it's hard to find. In this media maze, we're all confined. We're rising up, can't take no more. Truth on our lips, it's time to roar. No more shadows, we'll break free. With every heartbeat, we'll make them see. Together we'll stand united and bold. No more lies, let the story be told. In this fight for truth, we'll find our way. We'll light the dark, bring a brand new day. I'm screaming loud, but no one hears. Drowning in cycles of our own fears. The truth's a ghost, shedding bitter tears. Oh, the anger rises, it's been years. So I'll sing my blues, let the world know. Fight for the truth, let the fire grow. We're breaking the chains, it's time to show. We won't be silenced, we'll steal the show. In the silence, hear the cries, voices echo, breaking tide. Every tear, a story untold. In the ashes, we rise bold. No more whispers, we'll shout loud. Together strong, we're a fierce crowd. With every step, we take the stand, fighting for truth. Hand in hand, let the walls shake, let the truth ring. We'll write the lyrics, let freedom sing. From the shadows, we'll break away. In this moment, we'll seize the day. We're rising up, can't take no more. Truth on our lips, it's time to roar. No more shadows, we'll break free. With every heartbeat, we'll make them see. Together we'll stand, united and bold. No more lies, let the story be told. In this fight for truth, we'll find our way. We'll light the dark, bring a brand new day.
Got a front porch education in the Appalachian pines, where the wind rolled through the hollers, ringing old porch chimes. He made do with what he had and never felt without. There were squirrels in every oak and a river full of trout. For a boy and his old dog, it was the best of times. He grew up believing that's what made a rich man's life. Just a little hardwood cabin tucked beneath the trees, with a coonskin hat still hanging from a weathered barn nail in the breeze. Some days he'd steal the honey from the busy bumblebees. Other days he'd wrestle Doc while drowning all his fleas. The hills would echo laughter as the sun slipped out of sight, and every little memory made the whole world feel just right. Just a little hardwood cabin tucked beneath the trees, with a kind of simple happiness that brings you to your knees. No mansion on a mountainside, no riches left to claim, just love enough to fill a heart and somebody who knew your name. Those little things we hurry past become life's greatest prize. In that little hardwood cabin, heaven filled their eyes. When the church bells rang on Sunday, he'd be all spit shine. He sang with all the choir and gave the Lord his best dime. When the service ended, he'd walk sweet Caroline up the winding ridge road just to see her home on time. She'd give him one goodnight kiss beneath the evening sky, then he'd whistle up for Doc, believing life would be alright. Years may take the cabin, and time may steal the trail. The porch may lose its rocking chair, the fence begin to fail. But a boy who learns that love is worth more than gold can buy carries that old mountain home wherever life goes by. Just a little hardwood cabin tucked beneath the trees, where the simplest kind of living put a restless soul at ease. Doc still runs those mountains in the stories people tell, and somewhere waits sweet Caroline, where old memories still dwell. If heaven has a front porch with the pines against the sky, you'll find that little hardwood cabin where love will never die.
Every generation has faced uncertain times. Nations have risen, and nations have fallen. Fear has always tried to write the final chapter. But for more than 2,000 years, one truth has never changed. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So before we look at the headlines, let's remember the one who already knows tomorrow.
Morning breaks with another headline, another reason people lose their peace. Voices calling from every direction, selling fear on every screen we see. But I've learned where to find my answers, not in the noise that's filling the air. I open up the word that's never changing, and I always find him there. When the questions seem much bigger than me, there's one truth I still believe. Faith during uncertain times, standing on a promise that survived the test of time. When tomorrow feels unknown, I'm never walking there alone. The world may shake, but my Savior never changes.
Kingdoms rise and kingdoms stumble. History keeps turning every page. But God's been riding through the generations long before this modern age. So I'll choose peace instead of panic,
Grace instead of fear and doubt.
because the shepherd still is calling.
He's never left us now.
Every storm reminds my heart again. Who's been faithful to the end? Faith during uncertain times, standing on a promise that survived the test of time. When tomorrow feels unknown, I'm never walking there alone. The world may shake, but my Savior never changes. Hope still rises with the morning light. That's the strength I hold on to.
Faith during uncertain times.
Kingdoms may rise,
Kingdoms may fall.
the rock of ages outlast them all. My hope wasn't built on the news of the day. It was purchased at Calvary and proven when the stone rolled away. When fear comes knocking at my door, I know what I'm living for. Faith during uncertain times, standing on a promise
That survive.
the test of time. No matter what tomorrow brings, my heart already knows who's king. The world's still turning,
Heaven's still raining.
heaven's still raining. Mercy greets the sunrise every day. I'll keep walking by his light with faith during uncertain times.
Uncertain times.
Faith during uncertain times.
Uncertain times.
The headlines will change tomorrow, but God's promises won't. Walk in faith. We'll see you down the road.
Well, good morning. I hope everybody's having a good morning. Yeah. Welcome back to Hawks Mustard Seeds. You are the seeds. I am. I'm just a bird flying overhead, dropping seeds everywhere I can. So, before we get started, I want to talk about something that goes far beyond politics in today's headlines. All right. Everywhere we look seems to be another crisis demanding our direct attention. Conflicts overseas, economic bullshit, rapidly changing technology, and then the never ending stream of opinions competing for trust. And it's easy to become overwhelmed with all of it discouraged, sometimes divided, when each of these headlines come out, and and it seems like they're just trying to get us anxious, get us worried, get us afraid, but while the world is changing around us, the one thing that has never changed is God hasn't surrendered. He hasn't surrendered his throne, and he's not surprised by today's events, and he isn't asking us to live in fear. So, we get that, ever pondering question of what's happening in the world. Where are we placed in our trust? That's the question I have. Where are we placed in our trust? Because we've learned that we can't put our faith in our politicians, because our government is consistently fucking us every opportunity that they can. And I hate to drop an F-bomb right in the middle of that, but I'll drop another one. Faith isn't pretending problems don't exist. It just means that we are constantly remembering that our hope isn't built on governments, markets, social media trends, podcasters, or anything else. It's all built on the unchanging character of God. Because while we change every day, he doesn't. Do we think he's going to change his mind about how things are going to go? No, he's not. But I think that he'll reveal plans to us as we go along, right? And my prayer is that today's conversation kind of encourages us to stay informed without being consumed. Okay, just to seek truth with humility, and to treat each other with grace, and to remember that even during all these uncertain times, God's still writing the story. And it's one that no headline, all right, is going to have the ability to interrupt. So, when we look at the news, let's make sure that we look at it today with the lens of faith rather than the lens of fear. Okay. And I did a song, I think maybe it was last podcast or the podcast before, called "The Next Move Is Still Being Written." All right. And I want you guys just to listen to this. All right. I'll be back with you in a minute. I got to check this phone.
The morning mist still hugs the pines. Coffee warms these weathered hands. Maddie's watching down the trail like she already understands. The world's been busy through the night, drawing lines on shifting sand. But every sunrise still reminds me God has always had a plan. I don't have to chase tomorrow or fear what man may choose. The author's never dropped his pen, and heaven never reads the news. The next move is being written by the one who sees it all. Before the first star found the heavens, he already knew we'd call. Kings may rise empires and kingdoms crumble, but his promises have stood. I rest my heart inside his story, 'cause the author's always good. Leaders gather around their tables, promises fill every room. Some are building towers high, some are whispering of doom. Wars may shake another border, markets climb and markets fall, yet not one sparrow leaves this earth without my Father's loving call. Every page may hold a mystery, every season something new. But faith keeps reading every chapter, knowing every word is true. The next move is being written, not by power, not by fear. Every chapter whispers mercy to the hearts that choose to hear. Empires fade like autumn shadows, his forever still remains. Every promise points to Jesus, yesterday, today the same. Sometimes I sit here on this porch and wonder what tomorrow will bring. Nations meet, armies move, technology races ahead. The whole world tries to predict the next chapter. But I've learned something. God has never asked me to write his story. He only asked me to trust the author. The next move is being written, every heartbeat, every day. Not a page is caught him by surprise, not a soul has slipped away. When the last amen is spoken and the final trumpet sounds, we'll discover every chapter was leading to his crown. So I'll watch, I'll pray, I'll plant another seed and leave tomorrow in the hands of the one who's still writing the story.
All right. Sorry about that. I had to take that call. I'm sorry. It's I hate it when that happens, but periodically I get one that I don't have a choice, but I got to take it. So we just gotta kind of deal with it a little bit. So so the news that I'm going to be covering this morning is going to be kind of a montage of stuff that's gone on for the last couple of days. Part of it is some of this stuff coming out of Minneapolis. There's been some developments in that, and then I have a lot to cover with what was stated during the memo or during the NATO thing yesterday. Give me a second to get rid of this shirt so I can sit down comfortably here. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and start with this. So the Democrat leaders in Minnesota are outraged and calling for Sheriff Bob Fletcher to be replaced after he posted a 23-minute Facebook Live video highlighting the explosion in Somali gang violence and rapes across Minnesota. Let's take a listen.
Several Somali experts on the growth of Somali gang crime, as I mentioned earlier in our promo, it's just a small number of kids, but they are causing a lot of trouble for the Somali community. And in the last 2 years, there's been 14 Somali homicides, 100 plus Somali shootings, all gang related. So we're going to do, hang on 1 second. You okay, Linders?
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, we're good. Steve Linders, our PIO, is in the background there throwing hand signs at me. We're going to talk about what we can do to make a difference and how we can stop this from happening in the community. And this last weekend, we were at the Juice Time in Arden Hills. There was 300 young Somali kids there, and some of them were gangsters. And we had a number of us law enforcement officers there that curtailed their activity. But 2 hours later, they were shooting someone over in northeast Minneapolis, same group. And we're going to show you some video of that night. You've probably seen it online, those of you that track these things. The automatic weapon that was used in that shooting, and that person's probably brain dead. But there's 2 other homicides as well. So we got a huge list of criminal activity. But having said that, we're not indicting the whole community, just the 1 to 3% that cause the problems. We want the help of the community. In fact, we're going to hold a community meeting on July 21st, July 21st at our patrol station in Arden Hills to get parents and imams and other community leaders to help us address the problem. But before you start fixing the problem, first you have to identify what it is. So we're going to start with Ben Seidel. Ben Seidel is our gang expert. And next to him is John Mashine. And Ben, why don't you talk about what we've learned in the last year or so regarding Somali crime?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have about 12 different Somali gangs in Minnesota. We have a handful too in Ohio that our Minnesota kids are linked up with. Our gangs are not only staying in Minnesota. We now know they're going to Ohio as well, where I work with Columbus Police. So like I said, about 12 gangs right now. Our biggest gang is our Minneapolis group. They are currently fighting with all the suburb kids. That primarily started in the end of 2022, rose again in 2023 at a high school event. And since then, we've had shootings and homicides nonstop ever since. The big thing with this, too, is that a lot of these shootings are high profile.
A lot of them are high profile. But why are we not hearing about it on the news? Why are the media people not talking about this? It's going to culminate. It really is, and people don't realize that that we did that. Hey, Bill, I played your song at the beginning. Back, I would say probably 25 minutes ago. I did one song and then I played that one, the one you sent me yesterday. And folks, I'm going to be posting these up, but this is the thing. Okay, Bill sent me a thing yesterday or the day before. I don't remember which day it was because my brain just doesn't function anymore. It's on autopilot is what's going on. He sent one to me and I went to town with it and turned it into a song. And Bill doesn't have a channel, so I'm putting him up on mine. And he'll have a record of them. So if the channel ever goes down, we'll have a good majority of the songs that I put up. If I don't have record of them, God forbid this computer ever shut down. I got to get everything transferred over to my external drives, so I don't have to worry about that. But that Appalachian song that was Doc and Doca Boy and Caroline. Yeah. So, and then Cola's in the chat. Sorry I had to bow out on you last night, Cola, but I had to be up early this morning. I had a bunch of stuff going on. Had some land cleared and had to go and get a bunch of wood and stuff moved. So, and I knew I had to get that done before coming in to get all this done. So, all right. And we know it says reports United States forces are striking Shiraz with an electronics manufacturing plant, one of the IRGC's largest drone component production sites among the targets. Trump is not letting up on the regime's military capabilities. So basically, he just, by taking out this facility, a lot of the parts that they use for their drones are manufactured here. Without the manufacturing ability, less drones, and it'll probably end up taking out more. Also looks like I don't know, that's a roadway. I was thinking that maybe they took out part of the road. It kind of does look like they took out part of the road right here. So, but these are all places that they hit. Then there's this young lady. Let's see. Am I on the right one here? No, I'm not, am I? This is the one that I wanted to be on, but we'll go ahead and hit this young lady up first. Let's go ahead and do this.
Why did San Bernardino spend $1 million on this slab of sidewalk for climate change? America's infrastructure got a C- from engineers, so politicians on both sides came together to pass a bill. In 2021, President Biden signed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act into law. They'd spend $1.2 trillion on transportation-related projects, and $500 billion of that would go towards new programs. The law had a bunch of different areas to invest in: bridges and roads, broadband internet, which could be its own separate video, water, EVs, and environmental justice. So you know where this is going. It included 105 grant programs for things like public transportation, airports, rail, and resilience. And one of those resilience programs was something called the Carbon Reduction Program. It provided money to projects that were supposed to reduce transportation emissions. And to qualify, you'd have to meet all these government requirements. The Carbon Reduction Program would cost only $6.4 billion over 5 years. And of that, California would get over $100 million a year. In 2024, the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority submitted a list of projects to fund with this program. $4 million for a trail project, $2 million to develop a vehicle miles traveled mitigation bank, and $961,000 for this Del Rosa Avenue sidewalk improvement. Even though the project was complete in 2023, sidewalks are assumed to encourage foot traffic, and the county said residents would benefit from its climate impacts. This made it eligible for the Carbon Reduction Program. So the Southern California Association of Governments approved it, and taxpayers got stuck footing the bill. Then in 2025, the city dug it up again, which hopefully didn't cost another $1 million. So does this slab of concrete really benefit the climate?
So this is that carbon reduction program that's getting all that funding. And here are all of these programs and all these millions of dollars that we as taxpayers are having to pay for this garbage. And just take a look at this. We have some trails. Now, this was mentioned in the video, but take a look at this trail. This is what we're paying millions of dollars for. Keep in mind, it has one review. Here is the trail update. Look at this thing. Does this look like millions of dollars to you? You know, and this is put out by the city, so they're obviously very proud of this. And as you can see, it points a little arrow here to where this trail is. I mean, this is just very clearly a waste of money, and I would say fraud. One of the other things that it says that it's doing is it is creating this VMT mitigation bank. So what is that? Well, you're going to laugh at this. It's a central program that allows developers and transportation agencies to buy credits and contribute funds to offset the VMT induced by new projects. Well, what is that? It can mitigate environmental impacts. So they're making up this imaginary system that people are going to have to pay to mitigate the environmental impacts of their projects. This is why everything is so expensive to get done. All this worthless new regulations.
Yeah, it'll be probably one of those regulations that Trump will end up signing away. Yeah. Oh, no, this is not. Okay, maybe. Oh, that's right. Okay, this is where I wanted to be. Walmart slashing prices. Great news. I have just been informed that one of the biggest, best, and smartest retailers in America, Walmart, will be lowering prices by a lot. At my administration's request to celebrate our great country's 250th birthday, Walmart will in particular be dropping the price for a pound of ground beef by almost 15%, among many other products. This is a huge deal for many Americans, or many millions of Americans who smartly shop at Walmart, which is truly a patriotic company who loves the USA. Well, I'm not sure about that. My administration is lowering prices that Joe Biden incompetently raised with the worst inflation crisis in history, a total disaster, along with the southern border, the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, and many other failures. Just as I promised, oil prices are plummeting fast, and gas prices at the pump are dropping too, just like egg and prescription drug prices, which I'm bringing down by historic levels. Walmart is stepping up in a big and bold way, and other retailers should follow the lead of these absolute patriots. Together, we will make America stronger and greater than ever before. President Donald J. Trump. Yeah. So I don't really shop at Walmart other than to get the dog food for the big dogs. So, so this is a thread here from Rapid Response. In accordance with POTUS's Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History order, a new report exposes how the Smithsonian turned the National Museum of American History into a vehicle for radical left propaganda and degeneracy. Here are some of the worst examples. A museum supposedly for families and children displayed a sadomasochistic crotch harness, a trans non-binary person's chest binder, pages from a 6-year-old girl's diary in which she prays every night for my penis to grow. This sick material is sexualizing children. And then the museum also features video clips of drag queens, images of nude women, and a magazine promoting female masturbation. It's sick, explicit content pushed on visitors of all ages at an American history museum. They smeared iconic pieces of our culture as racist. Mickey Mouse, vestiges of long-lasting traditions of blackface minstrelsy. Ukulele, a product of U.S. imperialism. Wild West shows turning the subjugation of indigenous people into theater. All these different things are set up. They framed America's founding as a story of pure evil. Christopher Columbus, murderer, slaver, and thief. Christian pilgrims, colonizers. Thanksgiving, a national day of mourning. They want to feel shame for being American. In the Benjamin Franklin exhibit, they devoted 20% of the space to enslaved people and asked visitors whether Franklin conducted electric shock experiments on slaves with zero evidence. They took one of America's greatest minds and smeared him with baseless accusations. Their endorsed toolkit for museum professionals listed rational thinking and hard work as traits of white supremacy culture, anti-white racism taught as official museum guidance. They elevated Angela Davis, a Marxist who ran for VP as a communist in 1980. She called for abolishing police and jails. She was among the FBI most wanted regarding an armed courtroom takeover that resulted in the murder of a judge. This is who the Smithsonian chose to celebrate. This is just an example. The full 162-page report lays out the entire radical left ideological capture of the Smithsonian, which the Trump administration is rightfully correcting. Read the full report, and it is available on whitehouse.gov. So, actually, I can just click that and go like this, and go like this, and go like this. Yeah, I I can do that. I can do that. Let's see. Give me a second. I'm dropping it on all of them. Okay, got that done. Everybody's got it. Actually, you know where to, you know how you guys already know where to find the thing there. So yeah, so that was that. All right, and then let's go ahead and get started.
That works between us. There are those that I don't have a good chemistry with, I will tell you that. And we work that out too.
Mr. President, further drawdowns in Europe. Are you likely to announce further troop drawdowns in Europe?
Say it.
Are further troop drawdowns in Europe likely? And are you satisfied with the progress that NATO allies have
Well,
made?
we're going to see. I was very disappointed with NATO. And frankly, if it weren't held in Turkey, where my friend happens to be a very strong leader, a very strong person, it's possible that I wouldn't have attended. I felt I had to attend because of the fact that, I know he's gone all out. It was a big thing to have NATO come to Turkey or any place else. It's a big thing. But we weren't treated well because we did something in Iran. We don't need anybody's help. I didn't even want their help. But before I asked, they said they wouldn't be there. And we've invested trillions of dollars in NATO. Why? To protect European countries and others, Canada, etc., but to protect people, countries from, generally speaking, it used to be the Soviet Union, now it's Russia. And I say that's fine, but you would think that they'd be very willing to do something to help us. And they really weren't. In the case of the United Kingdom, the Prime Minister, I guess he's no longer there, maybe because of this. It was a very unpopular thing he did. He said, no, we'll help after the war is over. I said, I don't need that kind of help. We didn't need any help at all. And in a way, I was testing people. I was testing to see whether or not they'd be there because I've long said that we help them, but I'm not sure that they'd be there for us. And Italy turned us down, and Germany turned us down, and France turned us down. And it's okay. But, why are we spending hundreds of billions of dollars and they're not there for us? We've always been there for them.
Türkiye ile Suriye arasında Türkiye'de efendim
Habertürk İran'daki savaşın sona erdirilmesi için oldukça çaba sarf ettiniz. Müzakere süreci devam ediyor ancak nihai bir anlaşma noktasına gelinmiş değil. Bundan sonraki süreçte Türkiye nasıl adım atacak İran ve ABD arasındaki müzakere sürecinin olumlu bir şekilde neticelenmesi için?
Bu süreçte yine aynı şekilde bizler İran-Amerika ilişkilerini nasıl bir düzleme kavuştururuz? Onun gayreti içerisindeyiz. Elimizden geleni yapmak suretiyle dünya barışına bir adım atacağız.
Yeah, it's I don't know what he's saying, so we'll get back to Trump's side of it. All right, and then here we go.
We had a bad relationship. It became a little bad because she refused to help us. Again, I didn't put a heavy press on her, but she refused to get involved with the Hormuz Strait, or you could also say just Iran. She refused to get involved. So it soured my relationship with her a little bit. But I like her. I think she's a nice person, actually. But I think she made a mistake. They get a lot of their oil from. We don't get any of our. We have a lot of oil. The United States has more oil than anybody. And when you add Venezuela to it, it's like we have far more oil than anybody. We don't need the straits. We do this because we think it's an important thing to do. But she just wasn't there for us. And I wasn't happy about that. You can imagine, I wasn't happy about that.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting, but there's more coming. There's more coming. This one here in regards to Toyota.
We have $19 trillion, $19.2 trillion to be exact, being invested in the United States. That's 7 or 8 times more than it's ever had. It's a world record, not just a U.S. record. And I just read where, in fact, coming over, I was in the car with those beautiful horses, those great riders, those great soldiers, and it came over the wires that Toyota is moving out of Mexico into the United States and building one of the biggest truck and car plants ever built. It's amazing. That's what tariffs do, if properly used. And so we've never had a more exceptional economy or potential economy. There's never been anything like it. Under the last administration, they did much less than $1 trillion of investment coming in. And we're at 19.2 trillion in actually the first 12 months, because that's where it's, really, so we're there a year and a half. So that number is now substantially higher, but 19.2 trillion, Scott, for a period of 12 months. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. So we have by far the greatest economy. We have more jobs right now in the United States than ever before. And we have a great relationship with some countries on trade, and Turkey happens to be one of them.
Yeah. And there's so much more. All right. Just Call Me Spicy says U.S. Marines were built to answer to one man. That's right. And that is the President of the United States, period. Let's take a listen to what she says.
Folks, let's cut through the noise right now. Our country is being subverted from within by foreign and domestic actors, pushing real threats against our sovereignty. And I don't know if you've noticed, but President Trump has been highlighting communism in a big way lately. Part of any communist takeover is weakening a nation from the inside. That playbook includes the depopulation agenda, the massive fraud being uncovered everywhere, rogue politicians, the indoctrination of our youth, and total disregard for our flag and our laws. And all of the fraud. There are many forms now being exposed across our government and institutions. The President of the United States has a clear duty to correct those wrongs and deliver justice to the American citizens who have been victimized. A real reckoning is coming. So I'm going to segue into something else really quick. Recently, I've been watching a series called The Last Ship. Have you seen it? If you haven't, you need to check it out. It is so good. It's about a global pandemic that wipes out most of the world's population. And the crew of the USS Nathan James, which is the last ship, they take on the task to fight to find a cure and put the pieces of the world back together. Here's a quick video from the show.
This is Nathan James calling Gustavo Barros. We just took out your air wing. You didn't lay a glove on us. And you can mark that up along with your Corvette. Payback from Mayport. You may have hit us hard, but you didn't finish us. You know why? Because you can't. And now Mexico and Cuba have joined the fight, so this message goes out to all of Central and South America. There is a choice now. Join us. Send Gustavo back into the dirt hole he crawled out of. We fight for peace.
I'm going to pause it there for a minute just so we don't get in no trouble for copyright, which we're probably going to end up getting anyways because of this video. But let's, I figure we'll talk for a minute and see if, maybe that will save our asses.
But make no mistake, we will fight. And this ship and this crew, they're damn good at it. So, Gustavo, come at us again. I dare you. This is Nathan James out. Now, they know who we are, where we are. Let's be ready for what they throw at us.
This show is 5 seasons long, and it is so worth the watch. The cast is amazing. So well done. It is a show definitely way ahead of its time. It shows exactly what happens when a nation gets weakened to its breaking point. Remember when Bill Gates said all of this?
Taking things that are, genetically modified organisms and we're injecting them in the little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. New vaccines. We could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
He laid it out years ago about using new services and vaccines to lower population numbers. And that kind of talk hits different today with everything else that we're seeing, doesn't it? So when a president sees a real threat to this country, he doesn't need approval from Congress, governors, or activist judges. He has the constitutional authority and duty to take whatever steps are necessary in order to fight it. And that's where the Marines come in. These aren't just elite fighters. From the start, Congress made it clear that the Marines exist for any duty on shore that the president may direct. They work directly for the president. They swear an oath to the Constitution, just like he does. And when you watch The Last Ship, you need to watch it, it clearly depicts how seriously they take their oath. And by the way, the Supreme Court recently made it even clearer. The left thought that they were really clever, trying to limit options on protecting federal buildings and ICE agents. Their ruling actually forces the use of regular armed forces first. That means the Marines get called in sooner. And precedent from Eisenhower is already there. And President Trump knows the law better than anyone. We're already seeing operations cracking down on violent crime networks and rescuing kids in cities that were abandoned. That's the start of cleaning house. But when the subversion runs deeper, when mayors and officials won't enforce the law, the President of the United States has every tool available at his disposal. The Marines answer to the commander and chief. No half measures. No begging permission when the Republic is under attack from within. The Marines honor the Constitution. They serve the president. And this president has the full legal authority to use them to secure our nation. The subversives and their globalist buddies, they keep underestimating what "as the president may direct" really means. They keep forgetting that when communism-style weakening hits from the inside, the response must be decisive. So again, a real reckoning is coming. When you connect all the dots and you really pay attention to what our president says, it's kind of hard to miss. Go and watch that show, The Last Ship. It's awesome. And thank you to the Marines for everything you do for our nation. Semper Fi. And God bless the United States of America. Just saying.
Yeah. And that's just Call Me Spicy. She always puts together great content. All right. This is our U.S. ambassador to the NATO, Matthew Whitaker.
The security environment is obviously very difficult globally. The United States wants strong, capable allies, and that's all we're asking. And so, President Trump's going to show up, I think, with a very clear message that we agreed to 5%. The United States is leading from the front, and we expect our allies to keep pace. Now, again, it's a little bit asymmetrical because there are allies that are right there with us, but we have some that are laggers, and we need to make sure that they commit to the growth over the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay. All right. Real quick, give me a second. I will drop you her channel link over there. And
let's cut through the noise right now. Our country is being subverted from within.
here, and that's the one I want right there. Copy clean. Give me a second to go to Rumble. And then go to right. And then there you guys go there. All right, back to it. Nigel Farage.
Today, I will resign as a Member of Parliament for Clacton-on-Sea, thereby forcing a by-election, which would happen, I hope, in short order. No, I've decided that the people of Clacton should be the judges of my actions. This will be a people versus the establishment by-election. It's a chance to stick two fingers up to the entire establishment, to frankly tell them where to go. And that is why I will be putting my name forward to stand in this by-election. I will fight to win. I will fight to continue the political revolution that reform has started. And I would say this to you, the voters of Clacton: if I win, you win. Because if I lose, they win. And we will never, with the two old parties, get the type of fundamental change that we need to fix broken Britain. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, and then we got a little bit on Sheridan Gorman's killer. Here we go.
The illegal immigrant crime crisis front and center today. The Venezuelan man accused of killing a Chicago college student back in March is due in court for a status hearing set to kick off any moment now. Yesterday would have been Sheridan Gorman's 19th birthday. The Biden administration let the suspect into the country back in 2023. He's pled not guilty to all charges. Sheridan's mom gave a very powerful testimony last week at a congressional hearing on sanctuary cities.
The story is about my Sheridan. It's about how failed border policies, sanctuary city laws, and twisted leaders refuse to cooperate with ICE. And in what world does the child who spent her life making sure no one was lonely die terrified and alone on a pier in Chicago? In what world does the girl who saw everyone become invisible to the people in power responsible for protecting her?
Correspondent Natalie Chuck is joining us live from Chicago with more on this. Hi, Natalie.
Hi there, Bill. This status conference has been delayed a little bit. We were expecting it to get started about an hour and a half ago, but we do have a producer upstairs in the courtroom right now who says Medina's name was just called. So, of course, we are expecting more to come out very soon. Now, yesterday, Sheridan Gorman's family released a video to Fox saying just how much they loved celebrating their daughter's birthday the same week as the 4th of July. This hearing today was originally supposed to take place yesterday, but it was delayed a day to respect the family's wishes of not holding it on her birthday. Her dad insists they will continue fighting for change.
We are speaking out because Sheridan should still be here, and because her murder must spark meaningful change. If our voices can save just one life, protect one family, or spare one mother and father this nightmare, it's worth our pain.
Gorman was killed in Chicago back on March 19th. The university freshman and her friends went out to a beach park late at night trying to see the northern lights. That's when prosecutors say 26-year-old Jose Medina shot her while she was running for her life. Medina is originally from Venezuela. He was released into the U.S. under the Biden administration, like you mentioned, back in 2023.
Yeah, so it's just one of the stories. One of the stories. And all right, let's go a little batshit bonkers with Katie Hopkins. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Are you ready? Okay.
Breaking news here in Batshit Bonkers Britain, where I continue to show off my hydrangea. First up, England are still in the World Cup. Amazing, well done, lads. They played in air so thin that even Victoria Beckham was jealous. Man of the match clearly has to go to Jordan Henderson, who didn't actually play in the game, but managed to get booked and break an arm in the process. Next up, we play the Vikings and the brilliant Moon Bear that everybody loves, Haaland. In other news, Josh Simmons, remember that name? The guy who stood down in Makerfield so that Andy Burnham could run as an MP in order that he could become Prime Minister without ever being elected by anybody. He said he had to spend more time with his family. Well, guess what? Now he's decided he doesn't have to spend more time with his family because, in fact, he's going to get the cushy job of head of policy for Andy Burnham on probably about £250,000 a year. And finally, the health minister, James Murray, decides that women don't actually have a penis. That's right. Before, when it was expedient for him to believe it, he believed that women could have a penis. Now the winds of change are upon us. He says that women can't. It is so typical of so many who want to keep their jobs or professions or stay in the media or climb the greasy pole. They'll believe whatever it's best for them to believe on the day, not an ounce of moral courage between them. And it's not the sort of question you get to change your mind at. You know, do you want cheese on your burger? Do I, don't I? Do you think homeschooling is a good idea? Do I, don't I? It's about whether a cock can be on a woman. This is basic biology, and this guy has no right being anywhere near a health secretary position or government or, in fact, in this country, in my personal opinion. That's it, my darlings. Batshit Bonkers Britain.
Oh boy. Oh boy. That's all I can say is, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. All right. Let's keep moving along. Keep moving along. I got about another hour to spend with you guys. And then here we go. Tennessee. Let's get there.
Tennessee just made it illegal to be in the state illegally. Every sheriff in the state must sign a 287G agreement with ICE or lose his funding. Social workers, public health clinics, and county agencies. If you apply for benefits and you can't prove your legal status, you get reported to immigration authorities. And if you're a government employee who doesn't report, you get criminally charged. And it doesn't stop there. If you're a commercial truck driver who can't speak English, law enforcement can pull you out of service on the spot. Tennessee coordinated the entire package directly with Stephen Miller from the White House. Indiana, Utah, Wyoming, and Louisiana already have similar laws. So here's the question. Is this the model that every state should follow? Absolutely. And the fact that that's even a question is incredible. But let me walk you through it so we can see what's going on with the go-on over there. Earlier this year, Tennessee House Speaker Cameron Sexton and the Republican supermajority rolled out what they called Immigration 2026. It's a package of more than a dozen bills coordinated directly with White House advisor Stephen Miller. Governor Bill Lee has already signed several of them into law. The rest are on his desk. And here's what's now about to be the law in Tennessee. Being illegally present in Tennessee is now a state crime, a Class A misdemeanor. If you're in Tennessee more than 90 days after a final removal order, you can be arrested. That law takes effect July 1st. Tennessee joins Texas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Louisiana, and Georgia in making illegal presence a state crime. And that's directly challenging a 2012 Supreme Court ruling that said that immigration enforcement is a federal jurisdiction. Every sheriff in Tennessee must now enter into a 287G agreement with ICE or lose state funding. And there's no such thing as opting out. Any state or local government agency must also join in. Public health clinics, housing offices, food assistance program, and child care must also verify immigration status of every adult applying for benefits. If they can't prove legal status, they get reported to Tennessee's new centralized immigration enforcement division, which directly reports to ICE. And government employees who fail to report face criminal prosecution. Agencies that don't comply lose funding. The bill applies to soup kitchens, communicable disease treatment, WIC, SNAP, and homeless services. And for CDL holders, Tennessee law now has the authority to pull any commercial truck driver who can't speak fluent English out of service on the spot. The opposition says it will chill emergency care, slow communicable disease treatment, and expose local government to federal preemption lawsuits. Democratic Senator Jeff Yarbrough said it plainly. It is utterly predictable that we are walking into constitutional litigation. And he's probably right. But Indiana, Utah, Wyoming, and Louisiana have similar laws already on the books. And the legal challenge that was supposed to stop all this? The 2012 Supreme Court ruling Arizona versus the United States. It's now being tested in court again. Tennessee didn't wait for Washington. They built their own enforcement infrastructure from the ground up. So what do you think? Is this the model that every state should follow? If these are the kind of breakdowns you want to see more of, hit that like button. Hit subscribe so we can notify you when the next video drops. And leave a comment so you can let us know what's on your mind. This is the Hood Trucker signing off. Until next time, take care.
All right. See, I wish that they had given the link to his channel in this. You know, that's the only thing I don't like is you know, because I try to make sure that everybody knows who's sharing it. B shared it, but I know B isn't the one who made it. So it's yeah. So, but I like his breakdown. He did a great job with that. Let me see if we can find out who he is. Because Grok might be able to give us a direct link to his who is the guy? Let's see. Let's go. Who is the guy? Who is the guy? Let's see if it'll go that far. Because I don't know. I never thought about asking. The Hood Trucker is what it's called. Okay, is what he's called. And he's actually got a site called thehoodtrucker.com. And I think it's going to say that he's on YouTube as well. He's on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at the Hood Trucker. Yeah. So the Hood Trucker is who he is. Yeah. All right. Let's get back to a little bit more on President Trump.
I had a very good talk with President Putin, who, by the way, has a lot of respect for President Erdogan, a lot of respect for him. We had a long talk yesterday, it lasted a long time, and I also spoke with President Zelensky right after that. I think they both want to make a deal. It's too bad it took so long, but I think there's going to be something's going to come out, and the president's also helping us with that. But I think there's something. You know, I settled 8 wars, and I think we're going to be settling a 9th. It doesn't seem likely now, but sometimes with war, I see when it's least likely, that's when it happens. I had a very good talk with President Putin. I had a very good talk with, I would say, as a combination. A lot of times I'd do well with Putin and Zelensky would be a problem, or vice versa. Zelensky would be great and Putin would be. They both want to get it settled now. More than that, that's all I do in my life is deals. I know deals. And I think I think we're going to get it settled, hopefully soon. Last month, 35,000, mostly soldiers, died. The month before that, it was 24,000. The month before that, it was 27,000. And the month before that, it was 29,000. But last month, it was 35,000 young soldiers, mostly soldiers, died. And that's crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy. Absolutely correct. And then there is this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Rich Penkoski put this up. Parents, we must stay vigilant. A deeply concerning video has surfaced showing Tai Heem Clark, widely known as the child care whisperer, wearing a dress and high heels while telling a group of young children that their parents cannot be trusted. Yeah, this is.
Everybody, look at me. I'm getting ready to tell you something that's probably going to hurt your feelings, but I love you, okay? The parents are not your friends. I'm going to say it again because I want you to hear me. The parents are not your friends, okay? They cannot be trusted, all right? Everybody look at me.
Yeah, just like what the. Oh my Lord. Yeah. Yeah. Tony Saruga says the McConnell-China timeline, 3 decades of compromise, 1 cardiac arrest, and a wife who flew to Beijing while he was getting CPR, and the media won't even ask why. 30 years, $500 million in CCP dependent contracts, a $25 million gift, a Senate office run by unelected staffers, and when the 84-year-old flatlines, his wife's first move is strategic sit-down with Chinese vice president. The question isn't whether Mitch McConnell was compromised. The question is whether there was ever a single day in his entire Senate career that he wasn't. Again, the question isn't whether, it's how long and how deep. The posts below lay out the current Potemkin operation masquerading as McConnell's Senate office. But they barely scratch the surface on the CCP angle. Let's connect the dots. The institution media has spent 30 years refusing to connect. The Chow family, not just ties, structural integration. Elaine Chow's father, James Chow, grew up with Jiang Zemin, the man who became president of China and general secretary of the CCP. They attended a navigation school together in Shanghai. This isn't some distant acquaintance. James Chow met with Zhang at least 6 times after Zhang rose to power, including inside CCP's secretive leadership compound in Beijing in August of 1989, mere months after the Tiananmen Square. The Chow family shipping empire foremost group doesn't just do business in China. It's built on Chinese state contracts. Angela Chow, Elaine's sister and foremost CEO, sat on the board of China State Shipbuilding Corporation, the entity that builds warships for the People's Liberation Army Navy. In 2017 alone, Foremost signed contracts with CSSC subsidiaries for 6 massive bulk cargo ships, deals valued at roughly $500 million. The signing ceremony for one deal included the Consul General of China and the CSSC representatives at Foremost New York office. James Chow was publicly celebrated by Xinhua Chinese state media and the CPAFC, a known CCP United Front organization as a vanguard of Chinese U.S. exchanges. The money trail. This thing goes on and on and on. We could end up spending probably the thread is continuous. So, but it goes as deep as the Burisma Biden connection, looking like small claims in comparison. But we'll have to wait and see. But I'm not gonna bury myself in that. It's like disrespected trucker says, "I swear the internet brings out the dumbest of our society." I says, "I think the actual word you're looking for is stupid or LOL." Yeah, here we go.
In more ridiculous news coming out of the United States, Donald Trump has put out yet another racist executive order. This time, it's requiring that all truck drivers, all commercial truck drivers in the United States speak English.
Oh.
So, if you're going to drive a truck in the US, you now have to speak English. I'm not yet sure how this is going to be enforced. I'm still unclear as to why this is so important to him, other than in his continued pursuit of making English the only official language in the US. Because that makes a lot of sense, right?
Way it always was.
I know many of us are not surprised by this anymore, but here we are.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that your feelings were hurt because the president wants to protect our highways and our drivers and our families who get killed in automobile accidents because they don't know how to operate on U.S. roads. I'm sorry that they can't read the signs that say no U-turn, where they make a U-turn and ended up killing a family of 5. Yeah. I'm sorry that you didn't see that or understand that. I'm sorry that it wasn't you or one of your relatives that it happened to, because it would change your opinion if it directly affected you, because it's easier for you to sit on the side and just complain about what he's doing instead of understanding why. Yeah. Stupid or yeah, I said it. I said it.
But for those of you that don't know, within the Northern District of Georgia, there's one Judge Ross. Have y'all heard about her? That's okay if you haven't. I'll tell you a little bit about her. She's a federal judge, and not only was she a judge who was hearing cases involving the Southern Poverty Law Center attacking our Cobb County schools. Yeah, she was that judge, helping them out. But on top of that, that's bad enough. She decides that she is married and she should have an extramarital affair. But she's a bad decision machine, not only going on beyond having an extramarital affair. She says, why don't I double down on that? Have the extramarital affair in my chambers. And you know what? Forget just having the extramarital affair in my chambers. Why don't I have the extramarital affair while all my law clerks can hear? It gets worse. And you know what? If I'm going to have an extramarital affair in my chambers, in my federal courtroom with all my law clerks so they can hear, why don't I have it with a high-ranking member of the Atlanta Police Department whose cases I might hear? So my team and I have introduced an article of impeachment to make sure we are getting rid of rogue judges like Judge Ross. No more.
Yeah. Yeah. He said it. He said it. Clandestine said, remember what I've been saying about American pride and patriotism being a matter of national security? That was not hyperbole. It's real. The Trump admin and the U.S. military are running a counter psyop to reignite the American spirit that the communist left are trying to destroy. Embrace the homeland, embrace patriotism. Yeah. And I'm not going to get into the flock today, I don't think. We might have something in a little bit. But I don't know if I shared this one with you, but I'm gonna share it again This is good. Just Jen. This will give me a chance to get up and stretch my legs.
Okay, so hear me out. Every Democrat socialist of America, okay, should go visit Caleb Hammer. Every single one of you should go on his podcast, because when they say that MAGA is a cult, I want to give you a little glimpse into the leftist cult.
I'm Doomsday. I'm 25. I'm from South Dakota, and this is Financial Audit. Dun, dun, dun, dun.
Doomsday is a weird fake name, but we gave you a weird fake name because you chose for yourself in your real life a weird fake name.
Chosen for me, but
Your parents named you that?
my chosen family did. It's
Who
cool.
did you choose to be a family?
Whoa,
What's
in the
that?
queer community, yeah, you don't always get to maintain your most close relatives, your blood relatives. So you
Did they
build.
dismiss you?
No.
Well, it sounds like you maintain them.
I do not speak with my parents.
You chose. They did not choose.
Their decisions have made our relationship what it is today.
What did they choose?
They chose extremism over their child.
Okay, says the blue hair. Got it. Okay. Which usually qualifies towards more extreme people. Usually, what's their extremism?
Their extremes are just not very minority inclusive, despite what they might say. Their actions say otherwise.
What's their actions that are so extreme? They kill minorities?
They're not helping them.
Well, not helping's extreme? But what's helping?
We've had extended conversations about what politics looks like in the world, and when they discuss it, the things that they say or choose not to say are pretty detrimental, yeah.
That doesn't sound like extremism. You know what the word extremism means?
Yeah.
What do they do that's extreme?
There was once upon a time when Kamala came out with...
Kamala, thank you. You're going to get canceled for that.
She was talking about how our current president wanted to have generals more like dictators of old. And I asked my parents what they felt about that, and they said they needed the context. And I said, under what context is it okay to want
Well,
Hitler's
maybe
generals?
they wanted to understand if he was doing his classic rifting or if he was being an actual dictator, which would be bad. But we know, if you follow politics, which I assume you do, he is a rifting guy, and you take a grain of salt with pretty much everything, including saying peace is close in Iran, which I think you would agree with.
Okay, you see what I mean? Now, that girl's name is Becca. That was her birth name. Okay, that's what the name her parents had gave her. Okay, she chose Doomsday. Doomsday, her chosen family. The first thing the cult will do, one of the main things a cult will do, is alienate you, triangulate you away from your friends and your family, especially if you don't share the same belief, which most people on the left with the blue hair and the septum rings, they believe that anybody could be in the LGBTQIA plus community. I just talked to a girl yesterday, and her sister, called her a homophobe. And my friend just so happens to be a lesbian. Real life. Okay, her sister says, well, once in college, I thought about kissing a girl, so that means I'm bi-curious and I'm part of the LGBTQIA plus community, while calling her very own sister a homophobe who is homosexual. Yeah, so anyways, Caleb Hammer, okay? Now, this girl, Becca, Doomsday, is on the socialist kick, okay? So I love this clip right here. It defines exactly the Democrat socialist today. All of the kids that got brainwashed into believing that socialism would be a great thing for America. No. Capitalism has gotten more people out of poverty than anything. The reason why we've had a capitalist country for so long is because it works. Meanwhile, socialism, which is actually communism, has resulted in not only starvation and famine, but it has also resulted in millions of people dying. Mao Zedong, ring a bell. Okay, so this next clip, man, I gotta play it for you, because of course, like any true Democrat socialist, they want to abolish ICE. Repurpose ICE. Anyways, I'll play the clip. It's quite a doozy. And then you'll see why I say every single Democrat, leftist, no more liberal. I mean, they are extremist. Doomsday is an extremist. So here, let me play the tape.
I've seen families like torn apart.
Oh, don't performative cry. No one gives a f or empathize with your fake crying. That is sad. A family being torn apart is sad, but I'm sorry. If you made the choice to do something illegal,
I think that we should repurpose ICE so that instead of tearing families apart, their job would be to meet people where they're at and help them get the paperwork they need.
So brave. There you go. You won TikTok. You got the Reddit award. Your community's just supported you, and you just got your moral masturbatory pin. So proud of you. Okay. Is there
Because
a real
I want
conversation?
to, like, actually
No, it's
support
because
these
what you're
people.
supporting is something that's just not going to happen. We have to think of real things.
Your real things aren't thinking about the people.
No, I actually do because I care about the outcome.
About the system. You care about the system.
No, because I think about the outcome, and the outcome is the only thing that actually impacts people in the real world, not what you say on TikTok.
I don't have TikTok.
Not what you say on Reddit. No, you did. That's the reality. That's all that impacts people's lives in the end, not what a politician says on stage. What happens at the actual outcome? The real thing at the end of the pipeline that no one tracks in the end. People get elected based on what they say. They don't get elected based on outcomes. You're a what they say person, not an outcome person. I care about capitalism because I care about the outcome. The outcome in the United States.
I care about the intrinsic value of communities.
You all into pondering like cinemas and
She hit literally every socialist talking point. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Intrinsic values. I want to repurpose ICE. Excuse me. Are you forgetting the fact that Joe Biden let all of those people come through our borders illegally? None of them got vetted. None of them had to be vaccinated. People on the terrorist watch list got in, sweetheart. Becca. And who can forget about Hurricane Milton? When Hurricane Milton came in, okay? Hurricane Milton and Helene. Who could forget that? When people's homes were decimated, American citizens' homes were decimated. And there's no FEMA money. Because Joe Biden said that, well, we should take that FEMA money and put these illegal aliens up in luscious, luxurious hotels in New York City instead. Yeah. I mean, Caleb Hammer just proved that socialism doesn't work and it will never work here. And I do believe, like I said when I first started this video, that every single Democrat socialist should visit Caleb Hammer. And do you know what's so crazy? The craziest part is this girl, she works in finance. A socialist working in finance.
I'm a socialist.
Concentration camps. You're a socialist?
Yes.
Okay, you know socialism has never worked. What socialism are you in favor for? Here we go, get ready.
I believe that
take a system.
A system?
Take a system in the world.
Yeah, we're socialism.
That you're in favor of.
Well,
that you would rather be our system.
I just don't want it to be capitalism.
Okay,
Nor do I want it to be
take a system that has worked that you like and would like to replicate here.
Capitalism.
Take a system, please.
She can't say socialism.
That has been proven to work in any country, anywhere. That is better than our system, please.
Capitalism.
Yeah, please. Find
does not.
Okay, that's great. Yes, you have your talking points. That's wonderful. Now pick a system that has worked anywhere better than here, that you would rather have.
Well,
I'm waiting for it.
Your definition of better is like not valuing
I don't give a
value.
I don't give a about my definition. Your definition. I'm asking you to choose. Don't cater to my definition.
And I'm choosing socialism.
No, yeah, but pick it. Pick another country that has worked.
And unfortunately, we are an imperialist.
Never tried real socialism, I bet you.
Imperialism is hurting those socialist countries.
It hurt the USSR?
Yeah, all over the place. All over the place. She cannot give just one example, one country where socialism has actually worked. This is why people should listen to Bernie Sanders. Dude has been in office for over 40 years and has got absolutely nothing done. So please, socialists, go call Caleb Hammer. I guarantee you he schools you too and makes you look like a fool, just like he made Becca look like. Oh, or shall I respect the cult name of Doomsday? She keeps it up. That's exactly what she's bringing on herself. Her own parents. She swore off her own parents because they weren't extreme enough for her. That's what happened here. Good job, Caleb. Love your stuff.
I've seen quite a few interviews that this kid has done, and they were all really good. And there's a literal plethora of I got yous through every single interview with these people. And he's just pointing out hypocrisy upon hypocrisy upon hypocrisy over and over and over. But this guy gets it. He gets it. This guy right here.
Oh, I'm a fox. I'm asexual. I'm bi. I'm gender. I'm generic. I'm a black man. I'm a white woman. I'm Jewish. Nigga, we are people. You know, if aliens came down here, the last question they would ask is your fucking identity. They'd want to know where your liver is at so they can take it out. Everybody nowadays want a fucking label. Oh, I'm gender fluid. Oh, I'm butterbean. Oh, I'm black. Oh, I'm LQF. Oh, I'm WWE. Nigga, I don't give a damn. Are you a good person? Can you go to bed at night without worrying about somebody kicking your door in because you owe them money and you did them wrong? I don't give a fuck about your labels. The hell are we worried about? Are you a box truck? Got labels on you. I don't give a fuck about your labels. Everybody nowadays want to identify as something. Identify as your damn self. I respect everybody. Be who you want to be. But at the end of the day, it's not a label. Because the label existed before you and will exist after you. But you know what will never exist again is you. Ain't no dictionary definition. Merriam and Webster don't know who the fuck you are. But the world can if you just be that. Your identity does not affect your flavor. A leopard ain't gonna stop you because you black. Oh, this nigga tastes like Lowry's. No. A leopard gonna tear your ass up. This nigga scrumptious. Onion and garlic. This nigga seasoned well.
That is Julian Cross comedy, and he is good. I like him. I absolutely like him. All right. Now, we are going to bring up a little bit about Flock because I found this kind of interesting. Here we go.
According to the CEO of Flock, he says that if you try to track his cameras in your city, you're a terrorist.
There's an organisation called DFlock, who are semi-well known now, I guess, if you're interested in this stuff, who take a fairly aggressive approach in terms of counting the number of cameras and having a Discord channel where they talk about potential, activities to move against Flock and stop it expanding.
Now, if you want to be a part of that DFlock, you go right here into my bio in my link tree, and it's the first link. Go ahead and sign up and be a part of that.
And then, unfortunately, there's terroristic organizations like DFlock, whose primary motivation is chaos. They are closer to Antifa than they are anything else.
This is absolutely crazy, coming from the same guy who says that he plans to put hundreds of thousands of cameras across the country.
But to your point, we have really three broad buckets of technology. We have devices that detect evidence. So we mentioned a camera that focuses on a car. We have cameras that focus on people. We have gunshot detection. That's really like things that capture that evidence. And then we have AI that decodes it. So one of the problems that we create unintentionally is, well, if you have 100 license plate readers, you now have a lot of information. And then we have a third bucket of software and hardware that is really how do you deliver and respond faster. So we manufacture drones. So when a 911 call comes in, instead of having to wait for an officer to show up, boom, you click a button. The drone is there in 30 seconds.
And they're not even hiding the plans for a surveillance state anymore. They're literally building it right in plain sight. But it gets worse. The CEO openly admits that his own customers don't even know which type of Flock cameras they have.
Customers have no idea what version of camera they're on. They think they have the Flock camera. We're on version like 4.6 or whatever.
And this is actually important because some of these license plate readers don't just track your license plate. They track audio and they also collect digital signals from nearby devices.
This particular device does not have a camera in it. It has a very sensitive microphone connected to AI. It listens for, quote, sounds of distress. The only way it can detect sounds of distress is if it's always listening. And then what is the threshold for a sound of distress is a matter of policy.
My video is getting a little long, so come back for part 2.
With me, it's not anything to do other than I'd like to save lives. You have 25, 35, 30. One time it hit 41,000 a month souls. They're dead. They leave their mother in Ukraine. They leave their mother and father in Russia, Ukraine. They wave goodbye. And a week later, they're dead. It's crazy. And I would like to see, it doesn't affect us. It's really, it's far away. It affects Europe much more. We're there to help Europe, but it doesn't affect the United States. We have an ocean in between. But, it's just, I can't stand watching what's happening. I've seen the pictures of those battlefields, and it's a drone war. It's a war of drones. It's a whole new technology. And we're actually the leader in drones now. We have the most sophisticated drones, but people wouldn't believe how violent it is. And I've seen the battlefields. They send me pictures. I actually want to say, don't send them to me. Pete, this man right here sends me pictures. Pete Hegseth. And I said, Pete, you know what? Doesn't help to look. I've never seen anything like it. It's carnage. And it should stop.
Three important things off the back of Nigel Farage coming out and saying he's going to resign as an MP for Clacton in order to force a by-election, in order to pit himself against the establishment. I think it was a brilliant speech and a brilliant piece of work by his team. And don't forget, Nigel has always been the best political operative with communication that this country has probably ever seen. Firstly, strategically, this is brilliant play. Get the world's eyeballs on Nigel. He gets to state his piece and his case, and he makes the case for success. I'm a successful individual. We need successful individuals. I'm backed by other successful individuals. Look at the losers in Labour. And it's true, we have a bunch of window lickers on the Labour front bench. Number two, tactically, this is genius play. It's a straight fight. Nigel against the establishment. And right now here in the UK, because things are so dreadful, there is a spirit of revolution in the air. There is a rebellious thing. We'd much rather back Nigel because at least he's been in it for us. At least he's been fighting for ordinary people. At least he's something we can more or less get behind some of the time, rather than back the establishment who are just trying to do him over. So this is a great tactical play as well. And finally, emotionally, this is genius because it's about his kids. He talks about, you can come for me, you can come for what I am, you can attack me, whatever, I'll just get more security, but you don't come for my kids. And that's something we can all get behind. I may consider myself to have significant enemies out there, but I don't wish ill for their children, and nor would I ever involve their children in what might be my fights. And finally, and I think an important one for many people, is we often talk about uniting the right. And here's the thing with that. You can't wait for people to be kind to you or to show you support or to try and unite with you. So I might be attacked in a pub and won't get any support from any of those boys, not Nigel, not any of Reform, whatever. But what matters is that you do the right thing and that you have the moral courage to make the right decision. And I know for certain politics would be a poorer place if Nigel Farage hadn't been in it. And I absolutely back him in Clacton. If I can get there during my tour, I absolutely will. And this is the people versus the establishment. And I am here for it. Congratulations, Nigel, on a speech brilliantly well delivered. And I, for one, am as happy as a shrimp on a barbecue. Are shrimps happy on a barbecue? One for another time.
accusing leaders of the Smithsonian of extreme political activism. A scathing report saying the museum is downplaying the nation's heritage and exceptionalism and portrays America rather as problematic. How's that going over? Alexander Hoff live.
Get to hear a word I said. I'm sorry. This was also in regards to the flock cameras. All right. People don't understand how flock cameras can be abused. I'm not going to play the video because it's like 16 and a half minutes long. All right. This deputy, okay, used the flock cameras to stalk a female who wasn't interested in him. He followed her, pulled her over, threatened to harass her boyfriend, etc. These cameras should be banned. And the thing was this girl was a stand-in for Bad Monkey. I have no idea who in the hell Bad Monkey is or whatever, but I guess the girl looked like a model, and this guy just like absolutely stalked her big time using the flock camera system because he's a cop. He can access those things, you know, which is ridiculous. All right. More on Trump and the Smithsonian.
Accusing leaders of the Smithsonian of extreme political activism. A scathing report saying the museum is downplaying the nation's heritage and exceptionalism and portrays America rather as problematic. How's that going over? Alexander Hoff live in D.C. with more on that report. Alice, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Well, you know, this is the time of year you see families and young people flocking in buses to D.C. to check out the many Smithsonian museums. The administration feels that the lessons being shared paint the wrong picture. To back up these claims, the White House Domestic Policy Council put together a massive 162-page report. It was released July 4th, and it's titled Saving America's Story. It calls out what's described as anti-white bias and extreme political activism, as you mentioned, along with Smithsonian exhibits that promote things like transgender activism and open borders. Overall, the report finds a common theme on display that our history is one to be ashamed of. For this, the White House is putting the blame on the museum's director, Anthea Hartig, who has been charged since 2019. And last summer, President Trump instructed his attorneys to essentially put the museum under the microscope in the same way that universities were when it came to DEI. The president posting last summer, the Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Nothing about success, nothing about brightness, nothing about the future. We're not going to allow this to happen.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. And then John McAfee. More and more people are discovering all the videos that he left behind.
People are starting to realize why John McAfee was killed, and it's not because he exposed the media.
The mainstream media has been using a technology called neuro-linguistic programming for more than 15 years. And that neuro-linguistic programming makes you think and believe things which are not true.
It's also not because he exposed the government.
It's those few of you that I'd like to address right now. This sense of longing, this sense of yearning, this sense of not being satisfied is really your loss of freedom. And it is freedom for which you yearn. And you have none in this government. A government of the American people, which started out with the people being free and the government being our servants. It has become the government is free and secret and veiled in darkness. And it's the people that are the servants.
People believe John McAfee had to disappear because he knew too much and he kept records.
Look at that thing. Boom.
As soon as his Surfside condo tweet started going viral, mainstream outlets rushed to call it fake. But those same outlets had no problem repeating the official story about his death.
Software mogul John McAfee was found dead in his prison cell this week. He was supposed to be extradited back to the United States, but Spanish authorities say McAfee was found dead in his prison cell. A statement from the Catalonia Regional Government Justice Department says everything indicates McAfee may have died by suicide.
Most of them also ignored the fact that John McAfee repeatedly said he would never Epstein himself. He was also one of the first high-profile figures to publicly question what happened to Jeffrey Epstein.
Some members of our government have crossed the line, not in suiciding Jeffrey Epstein, if in fact they did, but in giving a story to us, the American public, expecting us to believe it. Now, this is the line they crossed.
Yep. Epstein is still alive and living in Tel Aviv. That's simple. Yeah. And then, let's see, I gotta look, watch the clock here. I only have a few minutes left. Actually,
Okay? I don't want him to waste his time answering that question because we're working very closely with Marco Rubio, a very famous man, great Secretary of State, and with Scott Bessent and with Pete and everybody else. We're going to be taking the sanctions off. It's time to do that. Okay? We don't want to sanction friends. It's very simple. There's plenty of people we can sanction, and we are sanctioned. We don't want to sanction friends.
so basically, because of the relationship between Erdogan and Trump, and the two administrations working together, Trump just put Netanyahu's Turkey boogeyman play on the table and crushed it in public. Netanyahu tried to move Turkey into the next threat file at the exact moment Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas were being boxed in sequence. Then Trump stepped in on camera and said the sanctions are coming off because it is time and because America does not sanction friends. That line changes the whole pressure field. Turkey has been auditioned as the replacement monster. Trump just moved Turkey back into the friend column. The whole architecture was visible. Greece has as the cover ally, Cyprus as the legal hook, NATO as the pressure venue, F-35s as the trigger, and Israeli air superiority as the protected asset underneath the entire move. Trump saw it and reversed the popularity, reversed the polarity in public. Now the Middle East fear ladder is collapsing faster. Iran is boxed in, Hezbollah is boxed in, Hamas is boxed in, Turkey is restored. That leaves Israel's political class standing in the open as the old emergency shield burns away. Once the boogeymen are gone, the outpost is exposed. The CCP and the City of London lose cover. Accountability moves closer to the room. Yeah, I like the way you did that. That was good. That was good. And that is observing consciousness. I'm going to actually give him a follow. Yeah. All right. And then let's see. Where was it? Here's Trump's escort in Turkey. Yeah. So, yeah, that was him going to meet with the president at the palace, which went very well. Then there was this one here. Remember Ahmadinejad? How do you say it? Is Ahmadinejad? Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who governed Iran from 2005 to 2013. He was the guy, and we were all talking about this back when I first started podcasting about this guy's linked to the Iranian hostage thing that went on back in the 70s, in the 80s, 70s, in the 70s. But you know, he was reported dead, okay, like 30 years ago, okay, or 20 years ago, something like that. And now he comes back from the dead to attend the funeral of the supreme leader, weeks after state media announced his death in U.S. war. Yeah, just saying, there's a whole lot there. All right, then there is let's see.
All right, you know that Donald Trump posted about Kim Clement. Kim Clement talked about him in 2007, but that same year, what else did Kim Clement talk about? Talked about George magazine.
Now we're going to get to where he prophesies about George.
And I saw a new magazine that is also going to come forth. Not necessarily on paper alone, of course not, be on the internet, but that shall speak of Christ. That it shall use the finest of scientists, the finest of athletes, the finest of artists, the finest of economists and business people. Prosperity is at our door. Now you may say that doesn't look possible. Do not say that, because what God requires from you now is faith. You see, faith is the only thing that can please God. It says without faith it is impossible to please him.
But that is where he saw George magazine.
Now, the collector's edition of that Kim Clement issue in the George magazine is no longer available, but you can still get the standard edition. But the key is, did you see it? It talked about faith. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to what we're doing here at George magazine, yes, we are talking about politics. And yes, we're talking about different people that we feature. But the thing is, we also are not ashamed about the name Jesus Christ. So faith is something that we always talk about. And that's why you are following George Magazine. Check it out. Go to georgemagazine.com and understand that this is bigger than all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
the Bible never says anything about a Star of David. There is no Star of David in the Bible. It's completely
Star of Remphan.
made up. But you know what Stephen said is that Israel was taking up a star, an image of a star, but that star represented Remphan. And you know, that is a wicked, evil image, the flag of the nation of Israel today, because it represents worshiping Satan. Acts 7, verse 42, then God turned and gave them up to worship the host of heaven. So were they worshiping God? No. They're worshiping the host of heaven. As it is written in the book of the prophets, O ye house of Israel, have ye offered to me slain beasts and sacrifices by the space of 40 years in the wilderness? Yea, ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Remphan, figures which he made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon.
If you don't know who Moloch is, he is literally a deity that people do child sacrifice to, or used to.
Jesus said, you're of your father the devil. Stephen said, you know who you were worshiping? Moloch, Remphan, which are false gods, who of course ultimately actually is who? The devil. Yes. How embarrassing, what a shame it is that we have Christians today in their churches that will fly a flag that represents worshiping the devil, and then they have the gall to act like we're third-class citizens for believing what the Bible says. Bro, you have satanic imagery in your church. You are propping up children of the devil. You are supporting people who worship Satan. You are the one that should feel embarrassed and ashamed, and the people going to those churches should be embarrassed and ashamed to follow people that enable Satan worship.
I genuinely think the world has taken a massive turn because to see this information readily available on the internet, which, years ago nobody was talking about, is incredible. And we're really digging into the facts of what's actually happening on our planet, and we're exposing these people. And the truth is, it's not the Jews, it's the synagogue of Satan hiding within the Jewish religion, and Jesus calls it out in the Bible as well.
And he does. And he does. Absolutely. And then there was this here.
GPS monitor at the state's expense. You would also be required to be a law-abiding citizen, keep the court informed of any address or telephone number changes, appear at all hearings, and have DNA and fingerprinting done if you've not done so already. Do you understand? Even if you're not able to post bond, they're asking that you have no contact with your co-defendants. That means each other. I presume the jail will keep you from having contact with the other two co-defendants if you're in jail. No contact with the alleged victims of the offense, and if you are released, that you be fitted with a GPS monitor at state's expense. You have 4 pleas available to you. A plea of guilty is a complete admission of your guilt. A not guilty plea is a complete denial of your guilt. A no contest plea is not an admission of guilt, but is an admission to the facts that underlie the complaint. If you plead no contest, the state would give me a statement of facts, and it would be up to the court to determine whether or not you were guilty of the charged offenses based on those facts.
Yeah. So these 4 have been charged after 16 almost feral children were found living inside an Ohio home covered in feces. Tim Burchett says, hang them. And yeah. Now, Kelly, I hope you're in chat and you're listening right now. And I didn't respond to your text earlier in regards to, because there's one particular word in that I won't write into a song. And I definitely would not have a kid calling me. So take a listen. And I'm probably going to get a copyright for this, but I can delete it afterwards. I'm not worried about it. But for now.
Y'all remember back in the 2010s when Nana was being played everywhere? Every artist, every singer, every rapper was using Nana in their songs. This is what I mean.
I want you, na na. Oh na na na na na na. Just be careful, na na. Because we singing na na na.
So after hearing that, me being who I am, anything the world tries to push, they always have an agenda behind it. So I did a little research. Nana is a Mesopotamian god. Nana is also referred to as, y'all ain't gonna believe this one, Sin. Sin is his name. Nana, aka Sin, also has children, and most notably is his daughter Ishtar, where we get Easter from. After reading up on Nana, it is said that one could petition him for help. He was responsible for guaranteeing abundance and growth, which would explain why his name was pushed so heavily during that period. During that period, clearly there was one songwriter who was prevalent across the entire board. Whoever wrote the songs, they petitioned Nana for abundance and growth, for which he is known for. He used Nana's name to gain abundance and growth, while at the same time having the entire world join in worshiping Sin. And we didn't even know it. If you think I'm reaching again, y'all know that song by Trey Songz. He says, ooh, na, na, na, put your hands in the air if you're loving tonight. Listen, ooh na na na, put your hands in the air, put both hands in the air. What are you doing? You're worshiping Nana. Think of how many of us sang those songs during that period who didn't know and still don't know until now you're seeing this. We're literally declaring Nana's name, aka sin, which we should not be doing, sin which God told us to stay away from. Throwing our hands in the air in worship, singing to Nana, to this false God. A lot of those artists now, they've sold their soul. They probably sold their soul back then. And they knew what they were doing. It's all a big game to all of those people. They're gaining success, abundance, growth, whatever it is, all at our expense. And we're doing things that we didn't even know we were doing. It's time that everybody starts waking up. Like I always say, watch what you're listening to. Stop supporting these artists because they don't care about you. All they care about is money, fame, wealth, whatever. They don't care about you. They are just using you. So stop being their pawn in their game because you're bargaining with your soul.
Yeah. I never thought that a name like Nana would kind of stop me from doing something. And I had seen this like, I think it was about maybe a month and a half ago. And it was on the back burner. I had it in my bookmarks. I hadn't planned on sharing it. It was just something that was on the back burner for me. And then after you sent me that text this morning about the song for your grandchild, I just kind of I was like, I can't do a Nana song. I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's like it was, and I figured I would pull this out to show you why and what I mean by it. And I didn't want you to think that I ignored your text. I was in a different mode. I was in a totally different mode. And then let's see.
Mark Rutte in the Washington Post yesterday. He writes, quote, NATO 3.0 is rising and buying American. The alliance has learned that has leaned too heavily on U.S. muscle is building its own and buying American too, obviously referring to the sale of military hardware. This combined with President Trump's comments today seem to indicate a cheerier tone for the NATO alliance as they're meeting in Turkey. Do you agree with that?
Well, look, President Trump's been clear for many, many years that we need to see Europe step up when it comes to burden sharing, our NATO allies increasing their defense spending.
Mark Rutte in the Washington Post yesterday.
So basically what it is about 195 billion from all the European countries. Okay. But it's around anywhere between $2 to $3 trillion a year for the United States. It just in the last 10 years, it's been more than $29 trillion. And we wonder why we have a national debt of $32 trillion. Just saying, it's time that we really start looking at this for what it is. Let's see. Was there anything else that I wanted to hit? Broken Blade, Operation Broken Blade.
7 on Your Side investigates a major sex trafficking operation near the Figueroa corridor, busted with 10 people under arrest. Investigative reporter Kevin Ozebek has been following the sex trafficking story there for months and has today's developments.
10 people have been arrested as both the LAPD and the feds seriously crack down on the Figueroa corridor. Now, some just call it FIG, others the Blade. Whatever you call it, it is one of the world's most notorious hubs for both human trafficking and underage prostitution. And federal investigators say many of those arrested in this operation are connected to the Hoover Street gang. This is a gang that officers tell me has recently pivoted to pimping to make money. You're looking at some of those arrests in what the feds call Operation Broken Blade. As they're booked and processed into federal custody, investigators tell us most are members or associates of the Hoover Street gang. And some of them are alleged violent pimps who investigators say branded their victims.
They will beat them. One of them bit a piece of meat out of her cheek and her face down to the cartilage. One of them was forced to have an abortion and then was forced to work that same night.
One of the 10 arrested is Mukesh Kumar Ahir. 7 on Your Side Investigates was there early this morning when the motel he manages just 2 blocks from Fig was searched. As agents combed the Stadium Inn and Spa, federal financial crimes investigators told us Ahir was not a trafficker, but accused him of profiting off of prostitution.
The money told the story. As alleged, individuals associated with this location hid large amounts of illicit cash, manipulated records, and structured deposits to conceal proceeds from sex trafficking activities.
Earlier this year, 7 on Your Side Investigates spent nights with the LAPD working the blade, searching to rescue underage girls forced to work these corners. Officers told us how girls here would often rent motel rooms for the night to bring their clients. And we saw firsthand just how young some are selling sex in plain sight. We saw a 16-year-old girl taken off the streets by the LAPD.
They are targeting and preying on girls in the foster care system who are the most vulnerable. This is about using a human being to make money for yourself.
And the LAPD tells me last year it rescued 54 underage girls from Fig. According to law enforcement sources, so far this year, police have already rescued 70 underage girls from the corridor. In downtown LA, outside the federal courthouse, Kevin Ozbek, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah. So that happened, and then where's the one that I wanted? Let's see. There we go.
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Woodcoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
These talks won't resume after we get through the funeral proceedings. Does this mean that talks with Iran will not resume?
I don't care. They can talk, but I think they're wasting their time. They're a bunch of lying guys. I do my whole life. That's all I do is deals. My whole life that's how I became president. I guess that's a deal too, right? But I made a lot of money. I had a lot of great success, tremendous success. Everything I did, I was successful. And I deal with these guys, and I say, this is from a different school. They're liars. They're cheats. They're sick people. They've hurt their people. They killed 54,000 people as of now that were protesting. You know, when people say, how come they haven't taken over? They can't take over because they're dead. They killed them. Nobody's going to take over. They have no guns, and the other side has machine guns. And they're killing them. The press doesn't report it. But they're bad people. They're bad people. And frankly, I don't want to waste my time with them. Now, I'll let our wonderful negotiators keep talking if they want, but I don't see it. I don't like these people. You know that? I like him. I like the leaders. I think all of these leaders.
And they love.
I think they didn't treat the United States fairly for many years, but that's okay. But they're sane, rational, good people. Most of them. I don't like a couple of them, to be honest with you. But there are a couple I don't like much.
Yeah. He's done with Iran. And I'm not going to waste my time on that one. And then the one, well, this one here.
Well, I talked to Bibi about that. Yeah, I think they're going to. I think they want to. I don't think it's a question of me. I think it's a question they want to. And they're getting along with Lebanon. They're signing deals with Lebanon. First time ever. Marco, talk about that if you like.
Yeah, we have an agreement that, and it calls, that's the goal at the end. Obviously, Israel's concerned about their security. But the president did a great job bringing those two countries together for the first time.
It's a big thing. First time in many years, right? So we have a deal with Israel and Lebanon. And yeah, they'll leave. And I think it's going to work out very well.
Yeah. So, but then this.
I spoke to Italy. I didn't speak to Spain. Spain is a wasted cause. We don't want to do any trade business with Spain anymore, by the way. I'd like you to cut it off. Spain is a terrible partner in NATO. They don't participate. They don't pay. I don't want anything to do with Spain. Cut off all trade with Spain, please, including visits. Okay, we don't want anything to do. Watch them come running back. Oh, they'll come running back. They treat this man terribly, and this man's a good man too, great man. They're lucky they have him. But Spain doesn't agree to anything, and you shouldn't carry him. I mean, you sort of automatically carry because you're protecting an area, so they're there. So they probably figured they have to protect us, right? But we don't have to. We don't have to trade with them. I don't want to do any more trade with them. All right? Yes, take it immediately. You don't even talk to them. They're hopeless. Bad people because, you know, they have everybody else going and paying and working. In Spain, in particular Spain, there are a couple of others, but in particular Spain, they're open about it. They're hostile about it. And let's see how hostile they remain when they call up and they, please, we want to trade with you, sir. We want to trade with you, sir. They make so much money with us, and we're going to see that they make a lot less. I want no business with them. So other than that, we're having the big meeting in a little while, and I'm going to relate my problems. Greenland is a big problem for us, and the other big.
Yeah. So he says, we're done with that. You know, and then this can be the last one, right?
All right, let's tie it all together with you. We're talking Donald Trump and this post that he made on Truth about his uncle, John Trump. We also are talking about this T-shirt that George Magazine had since when? Since we relaunched the reboot of George Magazine. We also have this. What is this? This has been sold on the George Magazine website for I don't know how long, this energy thing, and we have this cover. So let's wrap it all together with you. Number one, of course, it is true. John Trump was used by the United States government to look at Tesla. Now, let's tie it all together with you because, yes, it is true that John Trump, which Donald Trump called his mentor, got a chance to look at all of Tesla's work. After he died, the government trusted John Trump. Now, here's the thing. No one ever said it was a time machine, but it's very interesting because Tesla did say that he was looking into watching the future and seeing into the future. That is bona fide. But here's the other thing. Did you know that the CIA, a long time ago, did this study called Project Stargate? And they asked a person, hey, look at this picture. It was a picture of Donald Trump. What did that person see? He saw this picture here. Now, here's the interesting thing about it. What does the George Magazine cover look like? Quite frankly, it looks like the same thing. Anyway, one of the things that you need to look for when it comes to all this is this picture taken from Donald Trump's post was done about 10 years after Tesla died. So this energy, electromagnet thing that he was working on was 10 years after Tesla already died. Basically, he got a chance, this is John Trump, to look at all of Tesla's paperwork and could probably understand it. And that's why Donald Trump calls him a genius.
I have a feeling that we are going to see the product of that relatively quick. Well, no, I got to do one more. This is for our Canadians.
Part of the point I made to President Trump when we spoke a few days ago is that it's not just he's winning the argument, he's won the argument. Countries recognize that they need to take more responsibility, see the direct threats.
Yeah. All right, Carney. All right. You're a clown. You are a clown. A clown, not just a regular clown. You're like a real clown. So, all right. With that, I'm going to say goodbye for now. I will be back with you guys again tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. I am going to do a... I'm hoping 11 o'clock tomorrow. I'm hoping 11. It's going to depend on if I can get the early morning stuff done. If I can get it done early, then I will be on at 11. If not, it might be in early afternoon like today. Remember, God loves you. Jesus loves you. I love you. I am getting ready to do a grocery list. So if anybody feels up to donating, please feel free to do so. I'm going to try and stock up a little bit here. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And until I see you again, always remember to what? Keep your head on a swivel.
Woke up this morning to a world on fire. Everybody shouting, climbing walls of wire. Fear on the TV, lies across the screen. Hard to know these days what anything means. But I hear my Father's voice down in my soul. Stand up straight, don't let the darkness take control. Love your neighbor, hold the line, stay alive. Open up your eyes and let your spirit drive. Don't let the noise pull you under. Don't lose your heart in the thunder. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your eyes on the light. There's still love in the middle of the fight tonight. When the road gets narrow and the world feels cold, keep your heart wide open and never let go. Keep your head on a swivel, but your soul on the rise. There's a whole lot of beauty still left in these eyes. Yeah, the world may shake, but we're not gonna break. We were born for more than survival. Little old lady waving from a porch swing. Kids on the sidewalk still learning to dream. Somebody praying in the middle of pain. Somebody dancing in the pouring rain. There's still good people helping strangers stand. Still working hard with calloused hands. Still holding family, still holding faith. Still finding hope when it all feels late. Don't let the fear define you. There's still a fire inside you. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your eyes on the light. There's still love in the middle of the fight tonight. When the road gets narrow and the world feels cold, keep your heart wide open and never let go. Keep your head on a swivel, but your soul on the rise. There's a whole lot of beauty still left in these eyes. Yeah, the world may shake, but we're not gonna break. We were born for more than survival. Oh, don't forget who you are. You were made from the dust and the stars. Oh, even when shadows fall, love is still the strongest thing of all. Keep your head on a swivel, don't lose your grace. Every scar tells a story, every soul has a place. And if somebody stumbles, you help them stand tall. That's the kind of strength that can heal us all. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your faith alive. There's still hope for tomorrow as long as we try. Yeah, the world may change, but love remains, and that's how we survive. Keep your head